In this video, I'm going to show you how to pick a good niche for Instagram. Now, if you don't know me, I've grown a lot of very successful pages on Instagram, even more than this, which you can't see here. And also, my team members who I work with have also grown some incredibly successful pages to literally some of them almost 1 million followers in a bunch of different niches. And so I have a lot of experience when it comes to different niches, not only with growth, but also one of the most important aspects of a niche is how you can monetize it. And while I maybe don't have like tens of millions of followers on my pages, I've monetized them incredibly effectively with the followers I have. Bought my dream car at age 17. And so niche is the most important part of your page by far, right? And the reason for this is that you could pick a bad niche and just be absolutely screwed, right? So for example, this guy. Now, I don't know exactly how much this guy is making and stuff, but just looking through his page, he doesn't really have any monetization going on his page or anything like that, right? And he has 2.2 million followers. So just think about that. He's very good at growing the page. He's grown the page to 2.2 million followers, gets hundreds of thousands, millions of views, sometimes tens of millions of views on his videos, but doesn't really get much money from it probably, right? And that's because he picked the wrong niche, a niche which you can't even monetize. And so there are niches. You want to pick a niche which you can both grow very well, but also a niche which you can monetize very well. And or on the other hand, you could pick the correct niche. So this guy with 30,000 followers, his name's Philip, he's inside of my mentorship. In just his second month, did $3,000, right? Just the second month with only 30,000 followers. And this is why, if you offered me, would you rather have this page with 30,000 followers or this one over here with 2.2 million followers? I would take the one with 30,000 followers 9 times out of 10, right? Why? Because there's so much more monetizational potential with it, right? So it's very important from the get-go that you pick the right one. And this is because it's like when you're building a house, right? When you're building a house, the most important aspect of the house is building it from the foundation, right? That's the most important aspect which you focus on. I don't know about other countries. I mean, I grew up in the UK, right? In the UK, they built everything with brick, right? But in the US, we don't build the best houses, right? Now that I've moved here, it's built with like wood and plastic pretty much. However, the foundation, which is incredibly important, is built with concrete. It's the same with your page. Which niche you choose to do with your page is very similar to building the foundation of your house. You got to get it right then, because you don't want to build the entire house, but then there's a little bit of wind, and then maybe over time your house collapses because it doesn't have a good foundation. This is why it's so important that you pick the right niche from the get-go, right? So let me show you how to actually pick the right niche. By the way, if you have any questions about the video, drop a comment below. I try to reply to every single one, and also drop a like on the video. So this is perhaps the most critical decision you'll make, because it determines the audience you'll attract and the monetization opportunities available to you. So the first aspect, like I said, the audience you'll attract. Let me explain to you how choosing a niche can determine which audience you'll attract. Let's say, for example, you picked a niche where you're going to post videos about baseball, right? Let's just say you did it about baseball. I'm not saying that's a good niche or whatever, but for the example, let's say you started posting about baseball. If you started posting about baseball, you're naturally going to attract a US audience, right? Because who outside of the US actually watches baseball? Nobody. Maybe like the Dominican, like tiny countries here and there. But baseball is a US sport, so you're naturally going to attract a high US audience. On the other hand, let's say you posted about cricket, right? If you post about cricket, you're naturally going to attract a high Indian audience, right? Nothing wrong with like Indians or anything, but in general, they don't have as much spending power, so maybe that's not as good of a niche to go with, right? So, which audience do you want to attract there? If you, for example, posted clips about Fortnite, right, like Fortnite streaming clips, you're going to probably attract a very young, immature audience without a lot of spending power, no matter what country they're from. On the other hand, if you posted videos about AI content and how it relates to business and stuff, you're naturally just going to attract a more mature audience with a higher spending power, right? So you got to take into account which audience do you want to attract, right? And that is heavily determined by what niche you do. The second thing, like I said, is the monetization opportunities that are available to you. So let's say, for example, that you did a page like a meme page. Naturally, if you did a meme page, you're not going to be able to sell a digital product really, because what are you going to sell a digital product on, right? You're going to maybe like the best you could do is maybe do like merch in your bio, but no one's going to really buy merch from a meme page. Maybe, and this is why you see a lot of meme pages doing it. They go and do like OF girl promotions, and this is why their pages get nowhere. They lose a ton of followers and stuff. Like literally, I've seen pages do this. They've gone from like 100,000 followers, and they just slowly go down to like 50, 60,000 followers. They lose like a ton of their audience and stuff like that. So you want to really keep in mind like what are going to be the monetization opportunities eventually available to you, right? And so the key to like picking a good niche is finding a niche with 3 essential qualities that I'll break down for you here. The first essential quality is that you must be able to promote something, right? So it doesn't really matter too much at this stage, like what you're going to promote, but this is the most important step. You could do everything else correctly, but if you do this wrong, you're going to mess up your entire thing and you're going to make no money with your page. You must be able to promote something, whether that means you're saying like click the, so just think to yourself like this. Okay, with this page posting this kind of content, could I say like click the link in the bio for something, or could I say like comment X to get my something, right? So you could, for example, let's say you're in the gym niche, right? You could say click the link in the bio for my guide on how to get a six pack, right? Or you could say like click the link in my bio for my free nutrition plan, or click the link in my bio to get this supplement. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Don't focus on like what you're promoting. Just think, could I promote something, right? Because if you end up with a meme page, it's like, what are you going to promote? Are you going to say click the link in my bio to watch more memes? It's like, what are you going to promote there? There's nothing you could promote or say click the link in my bio for it. So you have to be able to like promote something, whatever it is, so that way you could actually go ahead and drive traffic through to your page there, right? So second quality is that you must be able to promote something. The third quality, by the way, you should subscribe to the channel because I'm going to drop more videos like this, is that it must have viral potential. So there's something you need to understand. You need to understand like the nature of Instagram automation, right? So if you're doing like some other business model, right? Let's just say some random other business model. Let's say, for example, that you have an agency which helps construction companies make more money, right? Let's just say that's what it is. If you're doing that, that's a very, very like specific business, right? If you're doing like an agency helping construction workers, because one, you're an agency, two, you're only helping certain people like who do this job, three, you're only probably going to help people in your surrounding area who live near you, maybe potentially depending on how you do it, but it's very specific. So if you're doing like a different business like that, then you're going to be very specific with your messaging, and you're going to attract fewer clients, but you're going to charge very high prices for them. On the other hand, with Instagram automation, you're not really going to charge high prices from an Instagram faceless page. So the alternative is that you need to do low prices with a lot of people. So like I said, you can either do high prices with few people with the business, or you can do low prices with a lot of people. With Instagram, we're going to naturally have to do low prices with a lot of people. And so that's why it's incredibly important that whatever niche we're going into, it must have viral potential, because we want to get as many people on that page, following us, clicking through to our bio, whatever it is, as possible, right? And so to think, when you're thinking like, okay, what does it mean? Does it have viral potential, right? This is what it means. Let's say, for example, you did a page posting Ronaldo content, right? Versus you did a page posting content about this random golf guy, right? Who you've probably never seen him before, don't even know his name. No hate to him, by the way. I love golf. It's like actually one of my favorite sports to play. Golf, MMA, like fighting, and then football. In America, we call it soccer now. I grew up in the UK though, so that's why I call it football still. But so those are, but a little off topic. So let's say, for example, you did a page about Ronaldo versus this guy. If you did a page about Ronaldo, it's naturally going to be easier to get views posting maybe the exact same quality, the exact same style of content compared to the other one. Why? Because Ronaldo literally has hundreds of millions, billions, if even, of fans. Compared to this guy, nobody even knows who he is, right? And golf isn't really a very popular sport. So there's just so much more potential of like there's so many more people who are interested in a soccer page that will get soccer videos recommended to them compared to a golf one. It's like, just to show you like what this means, right? Look at, you can go on Instagram right now, look at the most followed golf page, right, in the entire world. You might get a page with like 500K followers, like the top page, right, theme page around golf, like the top one might get like 500K followers. On the other hand, I can literally name to you off the top of my head faceless Instagram page around in the soccer niche. They literally have like 80 million followers. 80 million. I'll say that one more time. 80 million. And their page is called 433, by the way. It's a little bit more than just like a regular page. It's kind of a media company, but it's basically a theme page, right? So it must have viral potential. You want to really take that into account. You could put the same amount of effort into and the same quality of video into a soccer video versus a golf video. 99 times out of 100, the soccer video will just naturally get more views, right? Because it just applies to more people. There's a bigger market for that. Now, the third, and that's, by the way, the second most important quality. I'm ranking them in order. So the most important quality, number one, you must be able to promote something, because if you can't promote something, you can't monetize. There's no point in even growing the page if you can't make money. Second priority is that it must have viral potential, because if you can't get a lot of views, you're not going to make a lot of money. And then the last one, the third one, this isn't like 100% necessary, but it really, really helps, is audience pain points. And the reason this helps is because people are willing to spend money on your page when they have an audience pain point. So a great example of this is if you did a page based around back pain, right? Now, I'm in the US, like I said, and healthcare is a bit crazy in here, right? So you might not relate to this if you're not in the US. If you're in like Europe or Africa, Asia, wherever, like a different country, healthcare is probably really cheap. It might even be free for you. Now, in America, though, if you don't know, healthcare is ridiculously expensive sometimes, right? Like, so sometimes, like, people will literally pay tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars for surgery, right? And when it comes to back pain, they will literally pay like tens of thousands of dollars to try and fix their back pain or try to get it go away, get different surgeries and stuff. And, they'll maybe even pay a chiropractor a couple $100 per hour to go and fix their back pain or like help them out with certain things in different aspects like that, right? So there's a huge audience pain point right there, right? And the people will take action, the people will spend that lot of money and different stuff like that because of the audience pain point there. On the other hand, let's say you did a page, like a random page off the top of my head. Let's say you did a page, for example, about sewing, right? So like how to take sewing, like how to sew clothes together and stuff like that. There's no audience pain point there, right? Like nobody is sitting in their room thinking to themselves like, oh man, like if only I knew how to sew, my life would be so much better. Like, man, like I feel so unhealthy. I can't get any girls. I can't make any money because I don't know how to sew. I need to learn how to sew. Nobody's sitting in their rooms like really wanting to learn how to sew because there's no pain point around that, right? And so they're not going to be as motivated to take action, whatever that action is, right? They're not going to be as motivated as if they had a pain point, like in a niche around back pain, or if it's a niche about like, for example, relationships, like how to get a girl. Like there's a huge pain point around there. People are lonely, they need to get a girlfriend, whatever it is, there's a huge pain point. So people take action around that. If you had a page in the gym niche, right? Maybe people are fat and they really want to get in shape, they want to lose that weight. So there's a huge pain point there, right? By the way, just take like 3 seconds to like the video real quick. I'll appreciate that. Maybe if you're in the make money online niche, right? There's a huge pain point there because people aren't making money, they're working a job they want to, et cetera, et cetera. So they'll take action on it. And it's not just taking action on like money, whereas like maybe they're buying a digital product or something like that from you or buying whatever from you. It's not just that they'll take action when it comes to making money, they'll take action in general, right? So if it's like you have a page around back pain, well, they might just follow the page because they really want to learn how to quit their back pain. So they want to see more videos around that. So they're like, man, I'll follow the page here because they really care about it. It's an important issue to them. Maybe because it's a huge pain point. If you posted a video on how to fix your back pain, maybe they'll save the video, right? And because they saved the video or they liked it or they commented asking you a question, well, that's more engagement and your video is going to do better. And if it's huge audience pain point, if they see a video, they're probably going to watch to the end. It's little things like that. I know that's kind of a lot to take in all at once, but brief thing is that if there's a huge audience pain point with your niche, people will engage with your videos more, people will watch your videos more, they'll follow your page more, all that kind of stuff. And then also when it comes to the actual monetization aspect of it, whether you're signing them up to a newsletter, whatever that, if you know what that is, or if you're selling a digital product or something to them, whatever it is, they'll be so much more motivated to go take action on that or to spend money or whatever it is to fix their issues. Just think about it one more time like this. If someone's already spending 10,000, if people are spending tens of thousands of dollars to fix their back pain with a surgery, they're not going to like have much resistance to spend $20 on a little digital product, just to try and fix their back pain or something. Because they're literally like the alternative is spending tens of thousands of dollars there and they have a huge pain point. Like they really, really want to fix it, right? So some of the most profitable niches include, like for example, the gym niche is very good. The make money online niche is an incredibly good niche. Relationships niche is good. Niches around like back pain is good. The AI niche is very good. The looks maxing niche is very good. These are just some ones I'm kind of spitting off the top of my head when it comes to like different niches and stuff. And if you want, by the way, I've put together a list of 5 of the best niches, right? Like put them together. And in my personal mentorship program, I'm just gonna try and sell you here. So if you want to skip past this, like skip like 20 seconds through the video, if you want. If you don't want to watch this, but I have 5 coaches. One of them literally has made like $30,000 this month. Made $30,000 as well the previous month from his page. He has like 800K followers. There's another coach in there, Austin. He did like 20K in a month. The first guy's name was George, by the way. There's another guy who's also doing very well, like hundreds of thousands of followers. His name's Nicholas. Nick, he likes to be called. So you can directly learn from the 5 best niches from each of them has a coach in there. So if you're interested in that, you can click this top link in the bio. We'll show you how to grow a page if you don't already have one, and also how to monetize it. So if you want to, click the top link in the bio for that. But some of the most profitable niches include those. The big 3, which you always hear, is like the health, wealth, and relationships niche. So any like sub niche of those generally does very well because they have audience pain point. It applies to a lot of people, and there is like promotional stuff you can add around that, right? Now, if you're like, okay, I'm coming up with this idea for a niche, but it's like, okay, do I want to do this niche? Do I think it's good? It's like you're pondering on that, you're thinking through it. Well, what you want to do then is you want to evaluate niche potential, right? So just evaluate the niche. And when evaluating the niche, what you want to do is ask yourself these three questions, right? Or at least this is how I do it. So what I asked myself is I first asked myself, do people in this niche actively spend money to solve their problems? The reason I asked myself that is because, like I said, if people are spending money on it, they're going to be very motivated to engage with my page. There's probably have a huge pain point if they're actively spending money and stuff, right? They're going to engage with my page. If they're already spending money on that problem or that niche or whatever it is they're interested in, they're going to spend money on my thing, right? It's not going to be hard to get them to do that, right? Secondly, I asked myself, are there successful influencers already monetizing in this space? I do that because it kind of does actually answer the first question in a sense. But if I'm, for example, in like a gym niche, right, even though my page might be faceless, one of the biggest things I can do is, and that will really, really help me, is I will go and look at other gym influencers and I'll get content ideas from them of what's performed well. I'll see like, okay, maybe they're monetizing their page in this way. How can I replicate that and take ideas from that? So one of the most like when it comes to Instagram automation, one of the most powerful things you can do is just learn from others, see what other people are doing with their pages, and then recreate it because it's faceless. So you don't have to be like completely all the time 101% like original and stuff like that. You can just repurpose ideas and repurpose content and stuff like that. And so you want to have like other influencers or at least other maybe even other pages who are doing very successful in that niche or that space. And then lastly, you want to ask yourself, are there recurring purchases or high ticket items you could potentially sell from that? So recurring purchases are like, you know, instead of charging people once, you're charging them monthly. That's what that means. And then high ticket items means you're just charging people expensive prices. So it's like over $500, sometimes a couple $1,000 for a thing. Now I know you're like, dude, there's no way I could charge a couple $1,000. And like I said earlier in the video, with the like example I gave you earlier in the video, it can be harder sometimes to, it can be sometimes harder to do it high ticket with high ticket just means expensive prices with faceless page. And yeah, I agree, it's harder to do it than if you're showing your face and stuff, but it is doable. And you want to have at least one of those options because those are two very, 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 very extremely powerful ways you can just monetize and make money in general. And so in general, you want to have at least one or the other, right? So for most pages, it's going to be recurring purchases, but certain aspects, like for example, the high ticket items, the coach, like I said, Nick, right, with his AI page, which he does, one of the main ways he does monetizing it is sponsorships and stuff. And so with that, he could charge people, like you could charge people with a decent sized page a couple $1,000s to do a sponsorship, right? So there are aspects like that, but you want to have one or the other. And then a pro tip is if you're doing this as like a complete beginner, I recommend starting in a niche you're already familiar with. So if you're wondering why there's a Sam Sulek guy, picture Sam Sulek here. If you don't know who this is, his name is Sam Sulek. He's a very popular YouTube bodybuilder, actually a professional bodybuilder now. And the reason I have him here is because when I first started posting like short form content and doing this stuff, I like when I first started, I was unsuccessful with a bunch of different pages I tried. Like they would get shadow banned, they were just going nowhere. Like my videos were literally stuck on like 8 or 10 views after a couple weeks, and I quit with it. Probably should have stuck with it, but either way, right? And then I saw success when I switched to a niche which I already had a lot of familiarity with. So this guy, Sam Sulek, and I've grown a lot of different pages in this niche, by the way. I got one page in this niche at 190K followers. It's called sam.sulek.daily7 if you want to go and like fact check me. Got another one with 320K followers. It's called Sam Sulek Talk 9. And then I've got another one, 500K followers, sam.sulek.daily. That one I sold to someone else though. So I still have the first two. I don't post on them anymore. But when I switched to this style, I started doing so much better. And the reason was like this was the first time I ever had success with short form content and like grew a big page was in this niche. And it was because when I did this, I'd already been working out in the gym for like a year and a half. So like going to the gym, lifting weights with my friends, taking protein powder, watching different fitness videos, like the top 10 best exercises. And no, I knew fitness influencers and stuff like that. So I already had like a lot of understanding just naturally, not from doing any content or anything, just naturally I had a lot of understanding in that niche. And so it helped me out a lot to like understand kind of the different things of what makes content goes viral, what resonates with an audience, what are like the inside jokes, just different things like that. And I stayed a lot more consistent because I genuinely enjoyed making this content. So if you're going into it as a complete beginner, I recommend starting in a niche that you're already familiar with. Now, if it's like for me, I could go and do any niche, honestly, right? And I can be consistent with it. I could understand what makes it go viral and stuff like that. But I've literally had like over like a million followers from all my accounts combined, got hundreds of millions, close to a billion views across all my short form content ever. So I've had a lot of experience, just to say that, right? So I could go and be successful with mostly any niche. However, if you are starting out as a complete beginner, then it's probably better to find a niche which you already have a little bit of experience in, because it will help you out a lot, right? So if you already know a lot about AI, maybe do a page about that. If you already know a lot about the gym, maybe do a page about that. If you already know maybe a little bit about like drop shipping, maybe you make a page around drop shipping, whatever it is, right? So just a pro tip that could help you. Other than that, though, I really, really hope you found this video valuable. Like I said, if you want my one-on-one mentorship, click the top link in the bio. If not, no worries, and I appreciate if you drop a sub on the channel, and I'll freaking see you later.